Our correspondent Shubhendu Ghosh is traveling through many parts of USA covering elections and right now joining us from Georgia. Hi Shubhendu, take us through the importance of states and issues in focus by Trump and Harris in the final days of campaigning.
Well, the focus is completely on the swing states in these elections, and we see Donald Trump and Kamala Harris leaving no stone unturned to make sure that they take their message across to the voters. We saw Donald Trump and Kamala Harris in North Carolina. Also, Kamala Harris was here where we are in Georgia, in Atlanta. Both leaders trying to make sure that they get an edge in the swing states. We have to understand the disproportionate significance of swing states in these elections, the 7 swing states, which includes the states that I just mentioned. The whole of America can be seen divided into red and blue states. And in that context, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are more or less equally pitted. Red states are the one which traditionally have supported the Republicans. Blue states are the one which go with the Democrats over the years, not just the previous elections. Swing states are important because they haven't really presented a clear pattern or a preference for a particular party. Just for example, Georgia in 2016, when Donald Trump became the president, had come out in support of Trump, whereas in 2020 it flipped and supported Joe Biden, who then became the president. So in that sense, it is very difficult to predict where does the vote of these swing states go, the electoral college votes of these swing states, and therefore the leaders don't want to take any chances and want to put 100% of their time in these crucial battleground states. Talking about the issue, we also see a certain narrowing down of the themes that the leaders want to push in these swing states. We are familiar with the key issues, but now we see Kamala Harris talking about the issue of abortion very passionately here in Atlanta and elsewhere. She's aligning the idea of these elections with women's empowerment, women's right over their own body. Whereas on the other hand, Donald Trump is making this election about America's security, America's prosperity, and therefore the issue of illegal immigration and border security become hugely important. There's very less time left now. We also know that record early voting has already happened. So America really has voted in a significant manner for their preferred candidate. But the big election day will determine, along with the early voting data, as to who will be the next president of the United States.
Shubhendu, how is US preparing for the big election day, especially with concerns of security and voting fraud?
Well, tension, anxiety is palpable in the air as we get closer to the big election day. Early voting, of course, has seen a record turnout and participation by the voters in many states. Over 50% of the voters have already exercised their franchise. Tensions are on the rise because people remember what happened in the previous presidential elections in 2020, the event at the US Capitol. One doesn't want a repeat of that. But the kind of polarization that this election has seen, both candidates have presented a picture where if the other candidate, the opposition side, wins, it is going to be devastating for America. In that sense, the supporters of both candidates feel the anxiety. People at large feel the anxiety about what is going to happen when the result finally comes out November 5th onwards, when America gets to know. And therefore, the security apparatus has also been heightened. The experts say that never before such a security arrangement had been made for polling stations and polling officers. There have been threats issued to polling officers also. And there is, of course, great security arrangements made for the candidates. But polling stations, bulletproof glasses, use of drones are the kind of arrangements that have been made. And many said that these are unprecedented arrangements for the unprecedented elections that they're seeing. And the polarization is also heightened by the allegations that have coming in, especially from Donald Trump, about potential election fraud. The version that either a candidate will win or it is a case of election fraud does induce a certain degree of nervousness into the electoral system, does induce a degree of trust deficit in the voters, and that is not a good development, especially when the election is for an office as important as the White House. So the security, the administration is not taking any chances. The national security guards have also been put on alert to tackle any eventuality. All eyes are now on November 5th election, but the pressure can be felt by everyone, the candidates, the supporters, and the people at large.
All right, thank you.